Did you just steal my bed purely to keep my pillow warm? You're not even going to try and sleep in it. You're on the bed. Fine. Hello and welcome to our Minecraft hardcore world. I'm Dew Mountain and this is episode 8. I've been doing a fair bit of off-camera mining, as you can kind of see down here at Y level 11, mainly to collect a lot of resources such as, granite, andesite, diorite, a fair bit of stone, because now we've found that our stonemasons are actually going to trade us this for some emeralds, and also to sort of help, repair our gear, which I've been going slowly through. I'm quite surprised though, I've been mining around here. I know diamonds aren't supposed to be that common, but I still haven't even found one diamond ore at this level at all, and I've cleared out, a reasonable amount of space without any beacon or anything, and I'm quite happy with it, and we're getting a nice amount of resources. Plus, we've also found, if I head over here, you can see that we've got quite a few sort of slimes that spawn around, so I've been using them as a little bit of XP, so when my tools get a bit broken, I just run over and find one of the smaller ones, give it a little bit of a hit, and then collect up the XP. But we've also found a few little caverns that I haven't really explored yet, except for one, because it just looked interesting, and that is this one over here. So by looked interesting, I actually fell down and then sort of saw a lot of skeletons. So I thought, I need the bone meal. Let's go down and attack them. And it turned out that we found ourselves a skeleton spawner, which is so much more useful than our zombie one that we currently have running. So I might even set this up to make ourselves, a bit of a bone meal farm or something, so we can get, the bone meal, some arrows, and I don't even have a proper bow yet. Don't tell Mark that, he might be a bit upset. But yeah, we can use this sort of skelly spawner to set that up. And the chest didn't have anything really interesting in it. Cat, yay. But yeah, that's not all that we've sort of been doing. We've done some mining, as you can see, but we've also managed to finally be lucky enough to get ourselves a wandering trader who traded us some moss block, as well as some spruce saplings. So I wasn't, recording at the time, but I did manage to get the Xbox clip. So I'll send you over so you can just sort of see that, how, I've been waiting so long, and as you can see when we walk around the world, you'll kind of see all of the wandering traders' heads and where they were when I traded with them, and if they didn't have it, well, they kind of met their demise. So I'll show you how lucky we were to be able to get both the moss block and the spruce with the one guy. And then I think it's time that we head on over to our village. So I'll see you there. Alright, so we are now back here at our village, or our first major project of this series, and as you can see, I have brought those spruce saplings with me, because, throughout the whole week I've been sort of thinking of different ideas and different build styles that we could incorporate within our village, and, sort of different techniques or just builds that really look cool, and a lot of them I need some spruce. I also need some dark oak, but one step at a time. So I've brought this along here with me so we can start growing up a few of these trees to be able to put into the buildings when we set them up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start repairing some of my tools by trading with our villagers. But while I'll do that, let me explain what we're going to be doing today. So for today, what I want to do is actually clear out and sort of set up all of this area here so that we can sort of get a good layout of the land that we have. I mean, knock out all of these houses there that we're never going to use, and make room for us to be able to rebuild up our whole own area. Now, I'm pretty keen to actually get started on it. We are definitely going to need to mend up all of our gear, and what I've also been doing is collecting up a bit of this the dripstone block, because I'm thinking with areas like here, how it's maybe up and elevated a little bit and the ground might be chipped away, we can use that in with some granite and a bit of coarse dirt to actually sort of give a bit nicer texture to this whole area. But yeah, so that's what my plan is for today, Chris. We're going to clear out everything here and see what our, clean canvas is. You reckon that's a good idea? He's like, no, I just want to get to that bed. Well, get off of this then. There you go. Fine, I'll take your bed. Alright, so with it being a brand new day now, Chris didn't sleep in his bed, so I took it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump straight into it, clear out all of these buildings and everything like I've sort of been saying, so we can start seeing what we've got. This would probably be a perfect time to do a bit of a time lapse, but well, I guess now is a better time than any to let you know. When I first started off this series, I had a little chat with the camera guy, and I'll be like, mate, we're going to be doing this whole world, and if you die, it is over for you. And he was a bit nervous. He's like, you put me up in high places, you leave me out overnight, I get attacked by phantoms, I get shot by skeletons. I don't want to do it. And I was like, man, it'll be fun, just come on and join me. So he did, and well, I'll let you guys watch that while I start knocking down these houses. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. So, yeah, it would seem that our cameraman would much rather die in lava on his first night than even give hardcore a chance. So that's a little bit of a shame, but well, that's okay. Our good friend Mr. Pro Ranger has, let us know that if we do need to get a time lapse built up for something, then he's more than happy to provide us some service and get his camera account over on here and give it a go, because he reckons that one won't be too scared to die. But yeah, so, it's a bit of a shame, but oh well. We're still here and we're still going to be pumping through. Now, as the sun is setting, let me briefly spin around so you guys can see that we have destroyed all of the houses around here. We've left the one down by the river where our iron golem, or where I moved the iron golem to, as well as our farms, because I was still using them to try and get up some more food and crops for our farmers so we can get some more emeralds. And as you can see now, we have our two spruce trees growing up in the sky, because, well, I really didn't want that podzol to get spread out throughout the whole sort of land around here. I don't think it's going to work well with the build style, but then again, I'm still sort of tossing up the ideas, so for now I thought it'd be better off just to have it up there. So, as you can kind of see, we have cleared all of these houses. Now, it's left some really weird sort of terrain, as you can kind of tell by like this big box up here, and some areas there was actually houses that were like fully buried in the side of the mountains, so a bit like a hobbit hole sort of thing, so we might need to fix those up just a tad. And yeah, everything else is sort of, well, gone. I think what we need to do is flatten out this land here though, because it really doesn't fit in too well at all. But I think, oh, and we need to light up the area there. See, look, that's where Chris used to live. You see how it was just a big floating mass of dirt? But yes, so we've cleared out everything now and we can really see what we've got to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick nap, and then we're going to meet up over at where sort of we would enter this village from our end, and then we're going to sort of work out the pathway and then maybe work out where we want some builds to sort of go. Really plan out where this area is going to look like. Alright, I'll see you in the morning. Alright, it's the next day, and as you can kind of sort of work out where we are, you've got the little campfire behind us where we left all of our friends that time. And yeah, so this is sort of where I'm seeing us entering in between our base and the village. Now, what I'm going to go do, and I've kind of loosely... Excuse me, Cal, I'm trying to... Thank you. Yes, just move on. Right, like I was saying, I've loosely dotted out some sort of spots with the... Oh, well, that's not how you use a shovel. With the shovel to make some path blocks, because I think this is going to be the initial sort of entryway in. Now, with that said, I don't think it's going to be all path area because, that's what we've got over in our base. And I think that the village, it might have maybe coarse dirt or it might be like cobblestone pathing. That's sort of something that will come with when we sort of really develop the theme. Right now, I just want to sort of get a little bit of a layout and then we can add the theme to our layout. So, with that said, I think we continue on a pathway down over here. However, though, forgot my cobblestone. I'll be right back. Damn it. Alright, I'm back with the cobblestone and now I feel a little bit more prepared. So, what I was thinking is, because we come in this way over here, and we've always bringing in our horse because, I've decided that I'm not going to go to the end until this village is finished. Once this village is complete, well then that's going to be the mark of when we go do the dragon fight and get ourselves our wings. So, until then, we're going to be using our horse quite a bit. So, I was thinking that what we should do is maybe over in this area here somewhere, build ourselves up a nice sort of horse stable, somewhere to keep our horse, and probably because no shulker boxes, it's taking a lot to move things around, and there's a savannah right behind this hill. We might even actually get some llamas to be able to travel our gear backwards and forwards too. So this might be like a big sort of just stables for both horses and mules, donkeys, llamas, alpacas, anything that we can put a chest on pretty much will be stored over here. So, and that can have its own little pathway sort of going off there. Now, over here, I was actually thinking that this might be where we actually set up Mark, because Mark is, he's an archer. He works with arrows and bows and that sort of stuff, and we could set up right for him a nice little sort of training setup for his archery. We've got, the hay bales which you can turn into, target blocks, so we can even set up some redstone there. We can practice our own sort of aiming skills and whatnot. So I think maybe if we set up a space over here to build a bit of a house for Mark, as well as a sort of an archery course, we can even have it like practicing over there. We've got some targets over on the hillside, so that might be a pretty good idea. So let's leave that here with this concept in mind. Alright, so it's only just the entrance and we've already got a design or an idea for a stables over there, as well as Mark's place down here. Now I think we should continue on the path and sort of wrap it around to, I think I had it coming over down this lane here. Now, right here, beautiful, beautiful sort of open patch here. Now, what I'm thinking we might want to try and do is some form of tall growing crops, because I like the idea of using a bit of this elevated land going down the side of, up there you can see the little path idea for my for the path to go. If we had the farmland wrapping down and around and then sort of continuing on, and we could build up our farmhouse somewhere down here. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit of the pathway, but that way it sort of ties in with what I'm trying to make of having the taller crops grow over here. If we've got our farm over on this side of the field here with some crops, we might have like our vines growing over here. We've got those nether ones, the blue and the red ones. We've also, if we can manage to find ourselves a lush cave, we can get the sweet berry, not the sweet berry, the glow berries, and have them growing down. So, this might be where we've got like the vines and all that sort of hanging plant type maybe. And then over here, around this side here, we can kind of set up, our farm and have it continue on all the way around, and maybe fix up this land a little bit so it's not so drop off into doom. Sort of farmland wrapping down along here actually, because that will help mark out our path, and sort of everything then below this level will be the farm. So then we can just sort of go in with a loose idea for our pathway, and it doesn't need to be all nice and straight and fancy. We can kind of have it as a little bit obscure, because it's a bit more natural if it's like that. Alright, so we've got an idea for over there. Now as we're coming down here, this might just be some simple, just a tree, or even just some bushes hanging around here. We don't need to have a spot for everything. So sometimes we can just have nice open places that just sort of look cool. And first sort of eyesore is this thing. Now this is where our farm is that we've been harvesting up some crops, and honestly I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to sort of continue up the slope up here so we can add in a few houses maybe along this side. But yeah, I think that, you know, this will need to go. Wow, how did I not hit the... No, I'm not going to question it, or otherwise it will happen. So then we can continue our path on here and meet up with the initial road and sort of incorporate that a little bit. So then we can walk on down here, say hello to our villagers, and then I've covered over what was the town square because I think that that might be better placed maybe in this T section here. So where we've got it coming down from the hill, we've got it coming in, we can also then continue this pathway outwards. So I do like the idea of having the pathway sort of maybe round off over here and closing off the villager, that's the farming area, sorry. So then that way we can turn this place into some houses. So we'll knock out all of these farmlands here and my horses you can sort of see, and replace all of this with a bit of like, you know, a few houses, maybe some double story ones, you know, somewhere for the farmers to come back and sleep at, or, you know, anyone that we've really got in the area. I'm also going to cover in this here because all it does is it leads down to that water hole and it goes nowhere. I tried to look down there to see if I could find anything, it was just nothing. So we'll probably just come along and, you know our rule by now, we cover over it and hope I don't fall down it later. Right, so if we continue now down the path this way, definitely going to have some form of houses over here. Something maybe even like a sugarcane farm we could set up over here, or a bamboo farm, you know, have those sort of things. And work out a nice even sort of stairway down here, because I like the idea of the fisherman hut over here and our loading docks and that, because I'm pretty sure I can jump in a boat and I can get to our place from here. I don't think it's impossible. So this might be a really good depot area. And as you can see, I've got our iron golem over here who's staying safe. He's got his own little house, so he might even be like the dock master that sort of checks who gets to go through these rivers. We'll still be using this pathway here, but maybe branch it off over this way a little bit. And then that way we can now incorporate some houses over here. Obviously these aren't going to be the shape, they're just marking out for me that I want a house here. And we might even, you know, maybe bring a path around here and down this way here so we can have another little house set up over here. You know, this one might be someone that looks out over at the shore. It could even be like a lighthouse over here that's sort of letting anyone know about the bay. The dock's just down this way. And yeah, and then it can meet up again or connect up with this path here that will obviously lead off down to maybe a little bit of a fishing dock or take us back up to the mainland. I think that's a little bit more like it. Now while I'm here, I'm just going to quickly torch up some of this area. Alright, so we were just over there, and as you can see, the village kind of has a path that's supposed to be led along here, and I really don't agree with that. So I think what we're going to do is probably knock this down and actually bring ourselves a pathway that sort of comes up and along here. We might even connect it up over here, so that way when we go in and out of the houses, and just get rid of this spot here. Alright, so we're back up here where I'm wanting to put the new sort of center of the village, so that way we can move on throughout all the different sections. And we were just down the hill there where I said we could probably bring up the path to come up and in through there, and I think we could, but we could also sort of maybe wrap it around and have it sort of a little bit of a diagonal down this way and lead into here. And then what we could do is, you know, have this spot here to be able to maybe build up another bit of a house or something for our villagers. We could even build up a villager breeder, so that way if anything was to happen to our villagers, because we're going to let them be free roam, they aren't going to die out completely. We'll be able to keep them going around. But this here looks like another lovely spot for a house of some sort. And God, my squares are just getting terrible. Also looking along here, I think that we could probably even put a house up here, and then sort of just, you know, have a little pathway connecting on down and into that sort of area to break that up a little bit more. And we could probably even have this wrap around here. Ooh, breaking more dirt than I need to. And we can sort of connect this up here to feed back into our area over there. All of this will obviously go, and we can see a bit better then. So it's important to remember that, this is all just our loose plan, but that way that we've got this, we actually have a starting point. So it's okay to change things down the line. We're just now setting up so we can actually start and have a bit of an idea. Alright, so we've chucked up a house over there, and I think that we should also probably chuck one somewhere around here. You know what I mean? Have them a little bit close, yes. Maybe they could share like a courtyard. Like this guy's house opens up here, and this one's here, and they've got the same sort of garden backyard. And then we can connect up our path over here and have it walk around. I reckon that we should also continue on something over here which isn't part of the actual village generation, but I think we're missing out on an opportunity to be able to chuck in some houses along here and up around here sort of sections. Yeah, so then we've got a bit of an idea like that. We could probably even make a little pathway to a garden or something here to keep that maybe closed off. That might be an idea. Probably should put our house over here or some sort of build. Okay, I'm saying houses for now because it's just the word that I've chosen, but these could be anything. Like we could even make this as just like a campsite, this might not even be a house, it just might be a campsite. All we're really doing is planning out our plots and where we're going to put them. So this one here could be connected up to the pathway through here, which is our pathway which will lead on down there, and obviously fix up this area. So I can't really set out a plot in here and up there until I've actually fixed the land and it makes a bit more sense. But yeah, that'll all happen within due time. Higher up in the village, this is where I'm thinking this is going to be our first big project. We've got to have a big build. It's cool to do a few little houses plotted around, and once I've got a few in, I'll have an idea of the theme. And for those of you who saw the chapter 2 of the Realm of Midgard, you'd see with Foxwood, I had an idea and a theme of how these houses were built, so I could probably build up like 2 or 3 of them pretty easy within an hour or so, just sitting down and getting them done. So that's probably what will be the case up here. But I'm thinking that, if we come up here and we start getting a bit more of like towery sort of temple-y stuff maybe, or something to go with like a castle build, we need something that's going to be big. So we might even just declare this area up here for like, I don't know, the high noble of the village or someone. I don't know, this is a big place up here, but this is definitely going to be, and it's not torched at all, so this is where all the mobs will come to when I'm working at night, so I'll start torching while talking. But yeah, you see it's got a great lookout over us coming in, all the different places, the lovely mountain which has some, can you guys see that, the glitchiness in there? Huh. But it's got this great view looking down over the whole of the village, except by the river, but that's a bit harder to see. And I think it's got to have something grand on it. I'm just not 100% sure, but I'm feeling pretty confident that whatever it is will take up most of it as one build. So I know what it's not going to be. It's not going to be a villager trading hall, because that'd defeat the whole purpose of actually setting this up as a free roaming village. So I am tempted to do a castle, but then if I do a castle, I've got to work out how it ties in nice with the theme down here. And a lot of my builds sort of follow that medieval bit tunic. God, this is MI crafted all over again. I can't say the damn word. But, they've got that sort of build feel to them. And I don't know, I want to sort of break away from that a little bit and make something a little bit different. What we've done now, I'm pretty happy with. So we've got a really good plan, and I do want to sort of start fixing the land a little bit, like you can see over there where the fences are. I want to get that knocked down, probably even work out a better spot to grow our spruce so it's not just floating away in the air. But yeah, alright, so what I'm thinking I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly knock down that sort of, those bouldery sort of areas that I thought were a bit too, weird. Maybe even start getting rid of the farms that we've got there already, and maybe even just build up the farm land Not so much the house yet, because I think what we might do is during the week I might go into a creative test world and just sort of come up with some designs and work out a good palette to go with. I know spruce is definitely in it, and a lot of the stone and andesite want that too, so yeah, I'll sort of work that out. So instead of me rambling on, let me just quickly cut away, and hopefully all of these farms should be knocked out, and we might even be able to have a nice farmland there in the background. Alright, be back shortly. Alright guys, we are back, and as you can see, we have a rather large, but I also think really cool sort of farmland there behind us. I absolutely love the sort of the elevation there as it's sort of creeping up the hill, and then we sort of got the pattern of the wheat, the potatoes, the carrots, and repeating that all the way down to our pumpkin and melon patch under the tree. And then I've just got a big sort of mess of the pumpkins, and not the pumpkins, of the potatoes and the carrots in that larger field down the bottom there, because, well, that's what we've got to trade with our villagers. Now, as you can see, that whole patch down there takes up a fair bit more space than I actually thought, and you know, I went halfway with it, and then I came up here and had a look, and I thought that patch would actually look so much cooler if it went the whole way. And then, as you can sort of see behind that tree, we've got a little dirt sort of sticking out. If I was actually then connect that land and sort of make a bit more of a cliff there, we could then build our farmhouse up over on that angle there. That plot over there. And, you know, I'm really keen to sort of have that space all mapped out, and I'll get that done, you know, between episodes. But also between episodes, I think I'm going to be jumping back into our, you know, creative test world to actually be designing up some houses over here. I've been thinking about, you know, what sort of blocks to use, and we get bricks from these guys pretty easily, so I was thinking maybe to try and incorporate a bit of brickwork, which is something that I don't usually do, but it might be a nice challenge, and it also might help with, you know, trying out a few different build styles. So, yeah, I'll obviously next episode we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, so I'll just give us a little walk down so you can sort of see that all that animal area there has been cleared off. This also used to be where one of the houses sort of jutted out, and it sort of, yeah, just left another big sort of dirt boulder. I haven't quite done the most beautiful terraforming work around yet, and as you can kind of see, we did attack where Chris's old house used to be. However, though, I still feel like that land really does need a bit of working. But with that sort of said, I do believe that this episode is going to be sort of wrapped up now, because we spent a lot of time planning out what we're going to be doing for this whole village project, and you know, we've got our very basic and simple roadmap, which is going to help us start and progress a fair bit through this. I'm watching the villagers react, so I think this might be a thunderstorm, so I probably should have to wrap this up a bit quick. But yeah, so guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this episode, and you know, if you guys have actually made it this far towards the end here, I need a bit of your help. As you can see, we have, well, now 11 villagers, because a nitwit claimed my bed, but only 2 of them are actually named, you know, so if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a comment with a villager's name if you've made it this far, why not? So yeah, we've got 2 farmers that need a name. We have 3 stonesmiths or stonemasons. We have our 3 librarians as well as our nitwit. So if you guys could leave a name in the comments section. I've just unlocked one of our librarians with some name tags, so we should be able to get that going fairly shortly. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and are looking forward to seeing some of the build designs next time. Alright, until next time,